Welcome into this week's edition of the Railsplitter Athletics Report. Again, I'm your host, Adam Haley. We are still trying to get to do some spring previews around LMU athletics. So many spring athletic teams that we don't really have enough time to really do season previews for all of them before they get into season. But tonight we're going to try our best. We're going to talk about LMU baseball with head coach Jeff Sixside, and we're going to talk some LMU softball with head coach Natalie Layden. Both teams on the diamond, both teams more than likely in their final year at their current fields, that being the Lamar Hennon Field for baseball and the Dorothy Neely Field for softball. We'll talk about that when we talk to the coaches a little bit later on. Let's tell you about some things that's happened within this past week around LMU athletics. Some recent results. Men's volleyball last Friday, they were at home taking on Lees McRae in a rematch. It was the first time they'd ever played a team for the second time in school history. They had lost in straight sets over in Banner Elk. They got the rematch, defeating Lees McRae 3-2 on Friday. We'll talk about what they've got coming up this weekend a little bit later on. Men's and women's basketball, they keep rolling. Had 2 games on the road. Women's basketball was over in Hickory, North Carolina this past weekend, taking on Lenora Ryan. They won that one 77-57 at a game that was in the single digits until the fourth quarter, until Crystal Levin's team blows that one out of the water. And on Wednesday, they defeated Brevard over in Brevard, North Carolina, 86-74. They are now ranked 5th in the nation in the WBCA Top 25 and are now at 20-0. Well, they'll be at home this weekend. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in tonight's show. Men's basketball, they keep rolling as well. They won over Lenore Ryan 97-75. Then they defeated Brevard 90-58. Chris Perry has a career high in points, over 30-some points in the game against Brevard. Josh Schertz and that squad now at 17-4, ranked 21st in the latest NABC Top 25 poll. They'll be at home as well as they continue to try to chase Queens for the South Atlantic Conference lead. But again, that's going to bring us to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk some LMU baseball with head coach Jeff Sixside right after this here on the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
Pinnacle Performance Physical Therapy wants you to know you have a choice where to receive physical and occupational therapy. We take an individualized approach to treating people of all ages. Our therapist's goal is to assist all patients by reaching their pinnacle performance in school, work, and play. We have state-of-the-art equipment such as our Alter-G anti-gravity treadmill, used to rehabilitate injuries and pain throughout the body's lower extremities. Contact us for an appointment at 423-869-9923. Pinnacle Performance Physical Therapy, 362 Catalpa Avenue, Harrogate.
Whether institutional case good or architectural woodwork, Nolan Products Incorporated of Knoxville has been serving East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Southeast Kentucky since 1958. From concept to finish, Nolan Products custom builds to the highest quality standards to meet your facility specifications while using only the finest materials available. Nolan Products has been serving and meeting the needs and requirements of general contractors and architects in East Tennessee and surrounding area for more than 55 years. Nolan Products Incorporated, 912 4th Side Street, Northeast, Knoxville.
If you enjoy lakes, boating, mountains, and great food, you'll love Norris Landing Marina in Claiborne County, Tennessee. Located off Lone Mountain Road, Norris Landing Marina has these benefits for you: a 170-slip marina with seasonal rental slips, rental pontoon and pleasure boats, vacation cabins and cottages, a 23-space RV park, and Jimmy's Place Restaurant. Great food and casual dining in an on-the-water setting. Contact us and make the Norris Landing Marina your enjoyment destination.
Juggling my family schedule is a full-time job. Between school, dance practice, work, there's little time left to worry about much else. That's why I use real-time banking from Home Federal Bank. With real-time banking, I know that when I make a deposit, the money goes straight to my account. No delays, no waiting, no wondering. And I get to focus on what's important.
Real-time deposits, real-time access, real-time banking. From Home Federal Bank, always within reach.
Welcome back into Railsplitter Athletics Report. Now joined alongside by head baseball coach Jeff Sixside. And Coach, we are still inside of the home dugout here inside of the famous Lamar Hennon Field. Looking back to last season, y'all finished with a 28-21 overall record, 12-10 in conference. Now, I'm sure not where exactly you wanted your team to be, but still not a bad season.
Yeah, I think it was really, when you look at our season, the story of 2 seasons. We came out of the gate, I think through our first 28 games, we were 20-8 and in a tie for first in the league and 5th in the region. Then the back half of the year, for whatever reason, just did not play as well and stumbled, stubbed our toe down the back half. And that cost us a chance at a regular season championship. Ended up in a tie finished 4th, and we were a half game or a game out of 2nd. The conference was really tightly packed last year. So hopefully we can make some adjustments and be better for the entire season this year.
You take a look around the South Atlantic Conference. You don't play necessarily a cupcake conference schedule. This conference, from top to bottom, is really deep.
Yeah, well, I think there was one team last year, the top 8 make the conference tournament, and the 9th place team won 30 games. And so we had a team in our conference that won 30 games that didn't even make our conference tournament. So I think that says a lot, and it's very evenly matched. Certainly was last year, and you got to play well to win in our league.
You take a look at the conference, and I feel like baseball is probably one of those sports that's unique when it comes to the South Atlantic Conference. Basketball and some other sports, all 12 institutions have those particular sports, and they don't play divisions. Baseball, Queens is alone. They don't have baseball, and you all don't play necessarily like, since there's 11 teams, you don't play a round robin. There are a few teams you will not see through the year. Like this year, I looked at no Mars Hill and no Wingate on the schedule.
Yeah, we went to what's called an unbalanced schedule last year, and the reason we went to that, and basically what happens is it rotates every year, but there's 2 teams that you don't play on the schedule. And the reason we did that was some teams a couple years ago were their first game of the year, they were opening up playing conference games. So by going to the unbalanced schedule, it frees up 2 weekends at the beginning of the season that allows you to play non-conference games and get a little bit better look at your team, get a feel for what you are before you go into conference play. So the coaches voted on that, and this year will be the last year we do that. Brevard is leaving the league, so we'll go back to playing everybody in 2018.
Do you find it's a disadvantage if you end up with one of those, like this year, no Mars Hill, no Wingate? If you see one of those teams in the SAC tournament over in Kodak, do you find that as a disadvantage maybe?
Yeah, I mean, certainly not having a chance to see them at all during the season and potentially matching up with them in postseason certainly is a disadvantage, but it's a disadvantage for them too. So they don't gain an advantage on us, and it's a luck of the draw and just how it falls this year. And in postseason play, I think both teams would be in the same boat, not seeing the other. So no real advantage there. I like the way we have this schedule, even though you don't play everyone. I like having the extra weekends at the front of the schedule to see what we got on our team before the really important games start.
All right, coming from last spring when you all ended in the SAC tournament over in Kodak to now, you've went through off-season training, the weight rooms and different practices, went through the fall schedule. What's the team looking like so far?
Well, I feel like that this team, going into the fall this year, this team had the potential to be, had great leadership, and that's turned out to be true. I think our captains and a lot of our returning players have done a good job leading. Got a hard-working team. It begins and ends on the mound, and we've got most of our pitching back from last year, and we're hoping that they can, Ethan Elliott reproduce his effort from last year, and the other guys around him get better. The plan is people come back better, and I think they have, and have some work to do replacing some offensive production from some of the guys we lost. But I like what I've seen. Our guys have worked hard, got some good athletes, and going to have a lot of young players play for us, and so we'll see. It's hard to depend on freshmen, but we'll see.
Last year you had an ace on the mound, the left-handed pitcher, Ethan Elliott, who you already talked about. You stole him out of Knoxville and kind of had him hidden. This is what his record. He was 10-2 with a 3.29 ERA as a freshman.
Yeah. One
victory off of the season record for most wins by an LMU pitcher. This season, everybody's going to know what Ethan Elliott's going to bring to that table.
Yeah. He last year he was a relative unknown until we got about halfway through the season, and his stats started to speak for themselves. So this year, going into it, people will know who he is, will have seen him, and so that'll be a challenge for him. He's a competitive kid, and I think that he's going to embrace that challenge of the bullseye on his back, so to speak. And we just need the other guys on our staff to step up and be better as well. I can't expect him to go 10-2 again. He's capable, more than capable of doing that, but you can't expect that out of him again. We just need everybody else to step their game up.
SAC preseason polls already come out. You all were about middle of the pack. I think you were tied for 5th in that particular poll. Again, talking about the conference going top to bottom. 5th place probably doesn't sound the best, but again, when you look at it, it's not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah. For me, preseason rankings and preseason awards are probably the most irrelevant things ever. you know, none of the people who vote on those things have seen you play, and I don't think anyone is going so far in depth to check out your recruiting classes and that kind of thing. So preseason rankings and preseason awards to me are completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as we're number one when the season ends, that's all I care. Preseason, we haven't addressed it a single time with our team, and we won't.
We mentioned in the beginning here, we're inside the home dugout here at Lamar Hennon Field. Now, you've had something else to keep your eye on during the off season. It's the brand new field going on now to the Valley of Sports.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. The new Lamar Hennon Field is what we're calling it, and the playing surface is down. It's an all artificial turf surface, and it's down, and you know, the construction on dugouts and locker rooms and everything else around it is ongoing, and it's been nice to have that field. We've used it several times this spring when it's been too wet to get on this field. So, you know, as of right now, we're planning on playing all our games here at the old Lamar Hennon Field, and if they're able to, the weather breaks and they're able to get more stuff done down there, we could potentially play down there at some point this season, but right now we're planning on playing all our games here.
I've asked other coaches when this particular question comes up, and I'll ask you the same thing. Your thoughts, grass versus turf? Because when you look at Lamar Hennon Field, it's one of the gorgeous fields on campus, probably one in the South Atlantic Conference, and now you're going to artificial turf. Yeah,
well, when they end up tearing this one out, a big part of me is going to die with it. We've put a lot of time and effort into trying to make this place better, but the artificial surface, I think the biggest thing is it doesn't play the same as natural grass, but the amount of field work that it saves you trying to prepare a field, especially in the early part of the season with the freeze and the thaw and all of that. It saves so much time doing that. You can just roll out there and practice or play and get the efficiency of our practices has been off the charts on turf. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to play on it in 2018.
We're used to seeing you out here mowing Lamar Hennon Field. What are you going to do with the free time?
Well, man, the mowing is therapeutic for not only me, but a lot of coaches like to hop on the mower, and you know, it's a couple hours of just some reflection time. But you know, I'm hopeful that will translate into, you know, making our team better in a lot of ways. In more time you can spend, you know, doing individual workouts or recruiting, making recruiting calls, or whatever the case may be. The hope is the time you take working on your field then translate into other parts of your program, and I think it will.
You don't get to play at home until February 18th when you host Ohio Valley. But before then, you get a nice little warmer trip, I guess it is, into the Carolinas and into Florida, and you start off with USC Aiken. Yeah, we leave tomorrow, Thursday, and it's we're really looking forward to going down there. Aiken is preseason number 5 in the country, number 1 in the region, and again, preseason rankings are irrelevant, but you know, they're always a good program. And then after that, the following weekend, go down to Florida Tech, who's been in the last couple of years been a regional contender there. So 2 really strong weekend opponents to start out, but that's good. It lets our players and our team know exactly where we're at and you know, what we really are. You know, I think that it's a good thing for our team. It's hard for me to believe sitting here, it's the 1st of February and we're already talking collegiate baseball.
Yeah, it's here.
But Coach, congratulations, baseball season is finally here. I know the wait has been long for you. Good luck as you go to Aiken, South Carolina to take on the Pacers.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Railsplitter Athletic Support right after this.
Are you looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? If you are, visit Lincoln Memorial University Medical Clinics in Harrogate and New Tazewell. All healthcare providers are faculty members of LMU's DeVos College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available are family medicine, pediatrics, internal medicine, OBGYN, geriatrics, and osteopathic manipulative medicine. Locations in Harrogate and New Tazewell. Most insurance plans are accepted. The University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7190 for an appointment.
It's the Old Town Grill.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
Welcome back into the Railsplitter Athletic Support. Now inside of the LMU softball locker room, joined alongside by head coach Natalie Layden. And coach, first off, welcome to Athletic Support. First time I think we've actually had on this season talking LMU softball.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
We're the first time we've actually been inside of the LMU softball locker room. A lot of people probably drive by on campus. They see the field house or where your offices is and everything.
Right.
I don't think they understand exactly how roomy the locker room is, and then at the same time isn't really on your side.
Yeah, we're packed in here right now. You know, we've got stuff, just kind of boxes and that kind of stuff. You know, right now we're full, so it'll be nice to expand our horizons a little bit, and with the new building and that kind of stuff, and spread everybody out. But yeah, right now we enjoy it. It's nice. You know, we come in here between games, and it serves the purpose we need it to serve. So you know, right now we're very comfortable.
We're going to talk about the season coming in the past season, but since you've already mentioned it, let's go ahead and talk about the brand new field that's coming in the Valley of Sports. Well, I've understood weather's kind of put it on a little bit of a delay, so unfortunately I don't think you'll get over there this year, but it'll give you one more good year here at the Dorothy Neely.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where you had such a good fall, you're thinking you're getting ahead, you know, we're going to play there this spring, and then, you know, weather happens and Mother Nature takes over, and, you know, we're lucky that we have a great facility here, so it's not like we're going to skip a beat, you know, facility-wise, but it'll be really nice to have that turf and to be able to get on it all year long. I know, you know, at this point we've been outside about 3 times. And so it's been nice to try to get on the field and get a little bit acclimated outside. But yeah, that new facility is going to be great. We can't wait. You know, looking forward to it next fall, and not sure if we might make it this spring. But you know, as of right now, we're not really planning on that. And if it happens, it's a bonus. If it doesn't, we're okay with it. So you know, right now we are where we are.
Taking a look at the Dorothy Neely Field, you have one of the more beautiful softball venues I've probably ever seen, and that goes to a lot of work from you and your assistant coaches.
Yeah, my assistant coaches work really hard. Between Coach Emily and Coach Lasky, I can't give them enough credit. You know, we've done a lot to this field in the past 3 years in taking it to one of our worst facilities in the region, to LMU putting money into it with our hard work. It, you know, has really made a great facility for us, especially in conference and overall in region, you know, to be able to, you know, have the scoreboard we have and the padding we have and those kinds of things. I know we, you know, as a program have worked really hard to do that, but at the same time, so has LMU with the support, and, you know, we couldn't have done it without everybody involved, and it's really nice to have, and I know our athletes love it.
We talked to the baseball coach about the difference between grass and turf for his team. Now, the way I understand, you all are going to get artificial turf as well at the new facility.
We are.
Talk about the difference. I mean, it's a lot less maintenance, but talk about the difference in playing on grass to turf from softball.
Yeah, it's not too much of a difference. I will say the one thing about it that we're not used to, just because the infield is all dirt, is the fact of, you know, sliding, those kinds of things. You pick up a little speed. You're always going to get a true hop, which is really good for defense. But at the same time, playing on the road at other fields, you know, that could pose a little bit of a challenge. But for the most part, there's really no difference in how we play the game or how we practice the game. That's still going to be the same. I think as a coach, when you're able to get that time back that you spend working on the field all day, and now you're able to put that into your program, it'll make a big difference. You know, right now we're in an area where we're right behind a mountain, so it'll wash out that infield quick. So it'll be nice to have a consistent playing surface, and I think you'll see the program just flourish from that, being able to practice on a regular basis on a surface that they'll actually play on.
Last season, y'all go 24-28. You go at 500, 11-11 inside of the South Atlantic Conference. But toward the last part of the season, you all really started to get through the injury bug and really come on.
Yeah, you know, last year, the first part of the season, and, you know, we were tied for 6th with the strength of schedule in the country. And so that imposed a little bit of an issue on an injured team, you know, but at the same time, we were able to get healthy. We were able to play solid down the stretch, and in conference when it matters, you know. So I'd like to see us, you know, show up again this year a little earlier. That'd be nice, and help our lineup be consistent, because I think that also helps. But, you know, when you play that type of schedule and you have those type of injuries, it's pretty difficult to, you know, to be successful with that kind of competition.
You have never been a coach, to my knowledge, that's really shied away from going after top-notch competition. Looking over your schedule, you've got Limestone's coming here, North Georgia, you've got just a few days before that on the road. One of the cool things I think about softball is you all can go away for tournaments. and you've got some interesting tournaments, including going to Tucson, Arizona, giving men's and women's bowling a run for their money from those travel team on campus.
Yeah, we enjoy it. You know, it's one of those things, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And we've tried to put ourselves in that position to continue growing as a program. And in order to do that, we have to play programs who have been there. And so our team can have an idea of what it looks like. You know, and I think at this point, we're definitely a well-conditioned team to tough conditions and tough programs that we play against. We're really excited to go to Arizona. And, you know, what we try to do every year is play in the area of our seniors. And so we have a senior this year, Bree Shrimp from Arizona, and so we'll fly out there, and so our family can watch her play for the last time, and you know, hopefully enjoy it. Same trip to Mount Olive, you know, and we hope that you know Meredith Johnson shows up and plays well for her family and friends, and that's what we try to do. So we travel quite a bit, and I think a lot of it has to do with our area. And we try to get out of here a little bit. You know, this year we have more home games, of course, slated in February than we've ever had. And I hope we keep those games. So right now we're just day by day, and you know, we're going to make the schedule as tough as we can because in the end it's going to prepare us for conference, and we've shown to be able to do that.
Talking about the conference, you all come in ranked preseason ranked 6th, but really you take a look at the conference as a whole. It's essentially all up for grabs. Yeah,
you could flip a coin, honestly, with the preseason rankings at this point. You know, it's tough. Our conference took a big hit, and that's everybody, you know, from pitching to big hitters to a lot of changes, a lot of new faces. So it'll be interesting to see who will rise to the top this year. You know, you're always going to have teams that are going to be competitive, and but this year is probably the most wide open I've ever seen the SAC. So, you know, as long as we can stay healthy and do our things and take care of business, you know, I hope we're right there in the mix of it.
You talk about a lot of teams losing players. Obviously, I think one that we think about losing pitcher-wise, Carly Tysinger.
Yeah.
Finally don't have to face her anymore.
Right.
But your team actually brings back a lot at the plate.
Yes, yeah, we bring back a core of hitters, you know, and what we've shown so far this fall is we're going to be able to swing it a little bit in this spring. So you always hope that, you know, I know the old saying is pitching will outlast hitting, and, you know, that's something that we hope's not true against us. But, you know, we lost Sam, and that's going to be a big impact for us in the circle. At the same time, Bree Taylor had a few more innings for us last year, and so we returned that in the circle. We returned Jennifer Moose, our best hitter from last year. We still return our power numbers. So when it goes to Bree Shrimp and Meredith Johnson, Allie Jones, Kelsey Hokut's finally healthy, those kinds of things, you know, it's nice to see them step up and be able to swing the bat with some power so far this season. So we'll get a true test of that on Sunday.
It's, I think, a good thing. You all are bringing so much back. We talked about the conference being wide open. When you think Lenore Ryan, you think Wingate, you think Carson Newman with her Hall of Fame coach.
Right.
But this could be LMU's year because of the experience on the team. You lost one person, being Samantha Smith, but you also brought in a huge class of freshmen to fill one person's spot.
Yeah, they've done a really good job too. You know, I can't complain about the maturity that they've shown so far, and their ability to just be able to plug in. You know, we've had some key positions that'll be first-year players, and they've done a really nice job for us. And you know, the thing is to be able to grasp it and go. You know, one of the differences you've seen that we have the leadership to help, which has been really nice because those guys have gotten acclimated probably the quickest out of any freshman class I've ever had. So it's been really nice to see that, and you know, I think it's also up their level of play by being around that type of experience and, you know, the offensive success, and now, you know, it carries over to them.
Looking at the team at the end of last year, through the weightlifting, through the off season, the fall, and all of this, where would you say they are at compared to where they ended last year?
Yeah, I would tell you, and I don't know, we haven't played a game yet, so it's hard to say, you know, where we're at on the field until we play. But Coach Steven has done a great job with them in the weight room. Conditioning-wise, they've done a great job. Sam's done a great job as our athletic trainer, keeping them healthy, keeping them going, doing the extra things, you know, that they need to this time of year. And yeah, we're definitely ahead of where we were last year at this point without playing a game. You know, so we'll see on Sunday. I'm sure some things we need to tweak here and there. We need to add to our team to be successful this season. But at this point, I'm happy with where we are and excited to get going.
For the first time since I can remember, you're actually going to have a lot of games in Harrogate in the month of February. You're not really going to like warmer areas to start off. Do you think that maybe your advantage so far? We've had good weather, but is your scheduling in February going to bring the snow?
I don't know. It seems like it has in the past. I haven't done it in 3 years. We've pretty much been away all February, but I definitely thought last year that had a little bit to do with some of our injuries and things like that. It's just the wear and tear on my team as far as all the travel all the time. So we tried to slate a few more home games this season and see how that goes. But, it's like anywhere. You can't predict the weather, and, we'll just roll with it and play as we can. And, I'm not too worried about it. So we'll see. If they get canceled, we'll make some up. So
you got Mount Olive coming up on the 5th. Then you're at home next week on a Wednesday and Thursday with Lees McRae and UVA Wise.
Right. Yeah, we're excited. I know Mount Olive is a long trip. It's about 7 hours away, but we're excited to go there and play. They're a quality team. I know they were preseason ranked number 3 in their conference. They took a big hit last year as well. So it'll be a young team, and we'll see what we can put on the field and what they put on the field, and we're excited to get going. I know our athletes love to play in front of a home crowd and have a lot of support here at LMU, and so those kinds of things will be nice starting next week. As long as the weather gods will hold off and we're able to do that, we will play.
All right, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, Coach Natalie Layden, we'll come back. We'll finish off Railsplitter Athletic Support right after this.
Make K&K Metal Sales your only stop for all your residential and commercial metal building needs. For the past 23 years, K&K Metal Sales has covered the tri-state area with quality custom roofing and siding with many grades, gauges, and colors in stock. If you're looking for complete steel or wood building packages or steel or wood trusses, K&K Metal Sales can help with that, as well as heavy-duty custom carports. Great folks and great prices. Stop by K&K Metal Sales located at 6986 Cumberland Gap Parkway or call 423-869-4261.
Welcome back in as we finish off this week's edition of the Railsplitter Athletic Sport. Let's tell you about some events that's going on this weekend. And all this list is just this weekend, if you can believe it, because once February and March gets here, athletics pretty well takes over the campus of Lincoln Memorial University. Track and field, they'll be on the road in Johnson City, Tennessee at the Buccaneer Invitational. That is going to be Friday and Saturday. Baseball will start their 2017 campaign on the road against USC Aiken. One game on Friday, they'll have a doubleheader on Saturday, and of course, we're going to start this phrase, that is all weather permitting. Tennis, they'll actually be at home to start off their 2017 season. They'll be at home on Saturday for a noon start for men's and women's tennis against the University of the Cumberlands. Women's basketball, they'll be at home as well as men's basketball taking on Wingate University. Special start times on these. Women's basketball will be at noon. Men's basketball will be at 2 p.m., and the reason for that is these two games will be nationally televised by the American Sports Network, ASN, out of Sinclair Broadcasting. If you don't have that particular channel, as always, you can go online to LMURailsplitters.com and you can find the live stream link there, or particularly this game, you can go to NCAA.com and find the link there for the broadcast. Men's volleyball, we said they got a big weekend coming up. They'll be on the road up in Connecticut taking on Division I Sacred Heart. That's a back-to-back. They'll have one game on Saturday. They'll have the follow-up matchup on Sunday. So good luck to Coach Dan Dennis and his squad. Women's golf, they'll start off their 2017 campaign. They'll be down at the Kiawala Island Intercollegiate. And then men's bowling will be at the McKendree Baker. That's in Fairview Heights, Illinois. And again, all that I just rolled off is just this weekend. There's still a lot to come up into the next week. Men's and women's basketball will be back at home on Wednesday taking on Tusculum College. And again, for all results, all schedules, all things LMU athletics, go online to LMURailsplitters.com and you can find everything you need to know, future schedules, past schedules, roster stats, anything you want to know. Again, that's LMURailsplitters.com. Again, that's going to do it for our time here. I'm Adam Haley. Thank you for watching the Railsplitter Athletics Report.
And now to Marion, take us